Hey, what's up, guys? Devin here. So, I was getting ready to ship out this cabinet card that I just recently sold when I realized that it's a pretty significant piece of history, so I should probably make some sort of record of it before it goes off to where it's going and might be lost for all time. But I wanted to share this because it is an important piece of Iowa history as well. I'm going to explain why, but first I'm going to go over the card itself. So this is a cabinet card, typical of the 1870s to 1900s. So past there, but usually with this kind of card, that's the typical time period. So cabinet cards were put in cabinets for display. Usually they had a photograph of some sort of a family member or friends or kids or loved ones, just a picture that people would put out display, just to show it's just like any picture frame, but they just used a cabinet card. So this one's unique in being that it is not just a photograph, but it is a photograph of an etching done by an artist, C.L. Brill. Now, the penman, I could not find any historical information on C.L. Brill, which was kind of disappointing because I'm sure it would probably be pretty interesting, just given the topic and the imagery that he did with this etching. Uh, but what I found interesting is that this is Native American, and you can tell given the tree stump and the old time gun that's underneath him, and just the look of the hair and the nose gives it away, especially. But this being a Native American piece was also tied to the photographer itself that did the work. So when you would have a photographer take a picture, usually they would be the one who took the picture of what's being displayed. And in this case, it's a picture of a piece of art that was done by someone else. So that's kind of makes it unique. But the photographer himself, as you can see here on the back, T.W. Tolman, right, from Nebraska City, Nebraska. Nebraska City, Nebraska, not Kansas City, Nebraska. When I was doing some research, I kind of got twisted on that. So, Nebraska City, Nebraska. I found some pretty interesting information on him. He did a lot of Native American photography, and that's what I want to get into because I want to show you this. Okay, so this is a picture here of a woman that Tolman had taken a picture of for a cabinet card. As you can see, it's a cabinet card from the 1890s, and you can see Tolman's name right there, Nebraska City, Nebraska. But the interesting thing about this is that uh, he was actually from Fort Dodge, Iowa. So he moved in the 18. Let's see. One source states that he was from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and that he is listed in the 1882 Glenwood, Iowa Business Directory as a photographer. Okay, and then in 1890 he is in the Nebraska Record, or Nebraska City Business Directory, um, for business as a photographer in Nebraska, in Nebraska City, Nebraska. So it's pretty interesting in the fact that he's originally from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and in the 1880s, that's significantly early in the time period of Iowa itself. So that's what kind of I found quite interesting, but it gets more in depth, and it's his photography. Okay, so his photography is just absolutely captivating, and that's what I'm gonna have to show you. So he traveled with a group of Utes in their migration, and I'm not going to get into the details and the history of that. But if you really want some interesting history, the migration of the Ute tribe is absolutely it's mind blowing these how far these people traveled and what they had to go through. But I'm going to show you some of the photography that this is what T.W. Tolman, he went with these people and he actually took photographs as they were traveling. And I know it's not the best image, but you could see these pictures online if you want yourself. And there's even a website dedicated with a portal dedicated to showing pictures of his works. But he had some absolutely just mind-blowing photographs of Native American tribes members, and this really does no justice. I mean, it doesn't. But if you want, check out. I'll add the link to these two websites that have the photographs that T.W. Tolman took. But they are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I'm not really into art, but when it comes to historical art, like this man traveled with this tribe of people and took photographs of them and their struggles and their suffrages. And then he has this card, comes out with this card, and it's a piece of artwork of a Native American who looks to seems to be struggling. But this is 1890s, which would have been pre his travel with the Ute tribe. So he had already, had his whole time of taking photographs of Native Americans. This was, that was what he did. It was his passion, was photographs of Native Americans, and he really captured a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling and a lot of history within those pictures. And I don't feel like they're going to get recognized enough unless people do the research. But you have to see his photographs. So I will add a link to the bottom of the page. And I wanted to kind of continue on with the other parts of this card, which are pretty interesting as well, because it says compliments right here, compliments of Bryant and Stratton's Business College and English Training School, Malvern, Iowa. Now, I couldn't historically find this school in Malvern, Iowa, but I was able to track down a Bryant and Stratton's college that is still continuing to run right now. And it says that it was founded in 1854, which would have been about the right time period. So the school continues to go in a different way online, but it's this card and that little bit of information with the college. There's probably more into it than that, but for me, it's more the historical significance of this as a Native American thing, and the art. This photograph I cannot really explain in detail, but it's touching. It really is. It's an amazing piece of art. So I'm looking forward to getting this shipped to the person who bought it, and I want to thank them because I do appreciate the money, and no amount of money can really be as important as the history is of this piece. So I hope that this piece gets cherished and enjoyed. Obviously, I can't keep and collect everything, and there's no point of me collecting something and just having it sit in my closet or with my other hordes of collections of historical things. But this is a great piece of history, and hopefully this will be enjoyed. And I just want to show you real quick one more time. This is, there we go. So this etching, someone would have had to have did this etched all this into a piece of material, and they would have taken that material and taken a photograph of it, and this is what you get. And I'm not an expert when it comes to art like that, but I do appreciate this as a piece of Native American art. It's pretty interesting knowing that someone did this. They took a blank slate and they took some emotion and they put it into this piece of art, which became a photograph that's now, 1890s. That was a significantly long time ago. So this piece of history is definitely, hopefully, going to stay around for a lot longer. Thank you for watching.